Welcome to the Let It Bleed podcast, a place where you can hear the liquor-fueled ramblings of two narcissistic wizards who conjure the essence of inspirational people every week and bring it straight to you.
And just how do you plan on doing that? Magic. Motherfucker.
And now for the wizards themselves, David Amaya and Phil Arroyo.
We done did it, son.
Welcome to 2019. The year of the what are we gonna already just coin this year as?
The year of the orange jumpsuit, or maybe it's like a recycling of the year of the horse, except it's the like one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Oh, really? Elaborate.
Oh man, well, see, you know, there's the Chinese New Year and stuff like that. I believe the past one was the year of the blobfish.
What is that a real thing? The blobfish?
Oh yeah, totally. It's the year of the blobfish. They're revered over there for their wisdom, their tenacity, and their penchant for hookers. That's kind of, if you were born into the year of the blobfish, that is typically. I mean, I don't know if you follow astrology a lot. I mean, I don't know if you do. It's like maybe a little above you.
I wrote,
but
actually,
for those of us
the
who are more
astrological
cultured,
calendar for everybody. So, like, all of the fucking everything that you read, that's pretty much that comes from me.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah,
you made those up?
Yeah,
Dude.
in my spare time.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's never come up before.
But I couldn't do it when Mercury was in Gatorade, though.
Oh shit. Well, 2019, it's all about Powerade, bitch. Welcome. Welcome to 2019.
They love the salt.
And
the soil loves the salt. The nutrients, electrolytes.
I don't know what we're talking about.
I think that we were kind of like on the same page because I feel like you were referencing a really fucked up future with that before. And I was referencing Idiocracy here toward the end.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Gatorade.
Well, I mean, it's got what plants
Powerade.
crave as we careen wildly in this this car with no brakes. It is actually two cars sewn together that we call America.
Oh,
And we are heading towards a cliff. Welcome to 2019 as our first act out the gate.
Who's
Let's look
driving
back
the car?
at
Is it Tom
2018.
Cruise, or is it
it's Sean
like,
Hannity?
Oh,
Yeah, unfortunately.
and so go on.
Oh man. So yeah. No, hey guys, we are here with a best of episode.
Because that's not the best of it. What
This
we wanted.
is not going to make next year's.
Yeah.
Just we know.
Okay.
We know already. This little intro here. Yeah, man. So we have got a bunch of good shit to roll into. So let's not keep the people waiting. Let's jump right the fuck into it.
Oh yeah, this is a very important topic though. We're getting into the more serious stuff here about squatty potties and chiwis and things of that nature.
I almost, I could have been a millionaire, maybe even a billionaire. All right. I have actually already copyrighted Pussy Kazoo. So, you guys can look forward to that in 2019. Well, does that make any fucking sense? It doesn't, but that means we're starting our 2018 best of with one of our favorite guests.
Yeah, familiar guy. If you've ever listened to our podcast in the past, our last best of, you've definitely heard him on there. It's Jeff.
Mr.
Jeff is the man.
Adams.
Jeffrey Adams, the man, the mystery, the legend, the fucking
spooky ooky goth daddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of those things.
That's right.
Well, he's on here to delight you with the squatty potty.
Yeah. I remember I had the idea for the squatty potty in like 2007.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
And I fucking wrote it out and stuff like that. But I was like, what am I doing? I'm like 18. I don't like invent shit. And then like smash cut to 10 years later, and it's like, oh my god, I see unicorns like pooping onto the thing.
Yo, I used a squatty potty yesterday.
Yeah,
you
fuck,
idiot.
I'm like, what if we just,
Wait,
got,
so
like, a
what
basket
exactly
that's, like,
is the
little,
squatty
like,
potty
plastic
one more
thing?
time?
Oh,
You know
don't
what a
about
squatty
the
potty is?
No.
We had the exact same reaction to that. That's
Dude.
weird. That's weird.
I'm sorry.
Do you guys use the squatty potty?
I use I don't own one, but like my girlfriend has one at her house.
So is it like the shiwi thing?
I don't know what that is.
No.
No, the shiwi is like a funnel you hold over your pussy so you can pee in public.
It's like a pussy kazoo.
Yeah, it's you know what? That's exactly what it
Pussy
is.
kazoo.
And I think that if you sold...
You know what? If I just had the same concept, but, gave it like, I'm like, oh, there's like a little like whistle thing on the side there. Boom. Like you could
I'm going to be honest. I think you could
it.
sell any product called the Pussy Kazoo.
I think that'd be a great like punk name, a punk band name.
I think we've already got the name.
Yeah,
the title of this episode.
Yeah, that's
I
a
think we've
Pussy
already got that
Kazoo.
nailed down. We're 4
Well, we
minutes
did
in,
just
so I
come
think
from
we're
the
off to a good
Kazulu
start.
Mountain Jam.
We did come from the Kazulu Mountain
I was
Jam.
too drunk to actually declare a winner of any of the contests that never took place because we were just fucking around so much. It was definitely one of those things where like I was at home prepping. I'm like, okay, this year it's gonna be great. I'm like putting necklaces, making these motherfuckers into necklaces, like fucking even trying to paint them and shit, and getting all crazy with it.
Ready to go.
And then like literally
It's like
before,
a Final Four.
before fucking the sun went down both days, I was blacked out, and that's just how it went.
Everyone got thrashed.
Yeah, it was it was a weekend, that was for sure. But man, I just woke up and the side of my hip was just fucking bruised as fuck, just hurting. Like, I must have fallen on the rocks apparently.
Oh yeah,
I was up there.
Happens when you turn 31.
Yeah.
You just wake up and your hip is bruised. You're just like, I don't know.
It's already.
Don't do that. I turned 30 a couple of months ago, and I know it's all going downhill.
It really
God,
is
old
not
flux.
though. It's not like
Emotionally, I'm better than I've ever been.
I better rub it in while I can.
Well, so it sounds like you're exactly where I was last year, or even just more recently. Remember when we talked about all that stuff, and physically and because like emotionally, yes, you're growing and you're learning and you're enjoying it all, but you're like, fuck, I wish I could just stay up a little bit later without fucking feeling like I have to go to the ER tomorrow morning.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
I wish like all of those things, but then like today, I even made this like long, like sappy post about it on Facebook earlier that like I fucking just woke up for some reason today, like the day after my 31st birthday, and just felt. And it probably is the fucking, Mercury retrograde and lunar eclipse and Bigfoot and all that other shit too.
It's definitely Bigfoot.
Yes, definitely Bigfoot. But it fucking felt like I was just 100 pounds off. I just felt super energized. It was amazing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that like one of the things I like most about getting older is I'm more emotional, but in like what I feel like is a grown-up way. Like, because like when you're younger, you're a lot more emotional and you don't have to have any control over it. And then a lot of people, I think, go through that phase where they just try to cut out all emotions. They're like, well, I don't know how to stop crying uncontrollably. Or I don't know how to stop being mad all the time, so I'm gonna try and like have no emotions.
So I'm gonna make this face for the next 30 years.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grimace. I'm just gonna scowl until I just look like fucking Walter White, and that'll be the rest of my life.
There certainly are so many people that are
went
like
on,
that.
And now we all Hamburglar. So.
Exactly. But like, no, I've gotten older, and like now I like super in touch with all of my feelings, and like. I'm able to like cry at movies like unabashedly.
It's called
like,
estrogen, bro.
It's
called a lack of testosterone. Like it is definitely a fact. It's something that's happening like with fucking males. Like just it's the way that we're moving. Like younger kids have less testosterone. You know why? Technology. All of the fucking gadgets and video games that prevent them from going outside and playing at a young age. It's just.
That sounds like something I would have heard from like Ben Shapiro, and I want to fact check that.
Go ahead. Yeah.
What that one.
Go ahead. Go look at how many fucking young teenage boys have tits and they're not even fat.
I mean, I feel like that's
estrogen, bro.
There could
lack
be
of
something
testosterone.
there.
From what? For like not standing for the national anthem? Like,
No, it's because they literally are not getting out and fucking playing and being active. It's a fucking thing, and then all of the food that they eat as well, all of the fucking bad, like all of the chemicals that are in the food.
I will give that. But
sure.
Yeah, it's because kids look at their phone too much. I'm like, what?
Okay,
no,
well,
bullshit.
maybe the
That
way I
is
said
not-
that.
Yeah, the phones are turning the friggin' kids gay.
Doesn't give you tits.
I should have
Like,
prefaced.
out of here.
I mean,
I
Facebook might give you tits.
I should have prefaced that by saying that I was doing a lot of research about this earlier in the year, and I just left out a bunch of information, days and days of information that I just fucking was watching and reading all of these fucking articles about weight loss.
Yada. Pretty important.
What were you Googling? Why do I have tits? I'm feeling lucky.
No, it's when my gut was just like, and still to this day, it's gut health was
It's like
the biggest thing.
Like, things where they're like, share this like 900 times, like if you don't have tits, like, if you think
it's my gut was just really wreaking havoc. The bacteria in there and everything, and like was researching all these things because there's so many different fucking people trying to tell you that it's this way or it's this way and it's this what you need to get rid of. It's just so back and forth. But after watching all of these different movies and tutorials on fucking nutrition and everything, you kind of narrow out the bullshit and you start to see what's common between all of them. Okay, like this is real and this is true. And that was definitely one of the things that the doctors were talking about, especially obviously with males,
people are eating too much goddamn soy because it's subsidized by the government, so it ends up in everything, and soy ups the amount of estrogen in your body. Look it up. Stop farm subsidies, people.
Jesus Christ, you can stop with like porn and
subsidies are bullshit. The government is really good at fucking subsidies. Makes me fucking crazy.
Oh man, I'm with you on that one.
Farm subsidies are like the government breaking your leg and then giving you the crutch and then saying, man, isn't it great the government's here to help you walk? Yes. I stole that from something, but my libertarianism is fucking flaring up right now.
It's very apt this week.
Well,
so the government's giving us tits. Go on, David.
Yeah.
And they're making the frogs gay.
Obviously, they're making the friggin' frogs gay.
Well, so that was the idea. But what were we talking about? We were talking about before we went off on that tangent.
You know what?
I don't think you could say we. You went off on that tangent.
No, you
Usually
sidetracked me. You just
here.
denied the factual stuff that I was spewing out without any evidence, and that's a problem. That's problematic, dude.
Usually I have notes that like help me remind us like what we just talked about, but all I have is what's in a name, squatty potty, pussy kazoo.
Okay, yeah. So you never explained exactly what a squatty potty was to me.
I was trying to.
I know. We went off on the tit tangent.
A squatty potty is it's like a plastic thing.
It's like a step stool.
Yeah, that like you sit on your toilet and you put your legs in. They're like almost kind of like stirrups, but they put your body into like a more ergonomic way.
Have you used one yet?
I actually have not.
Yo, I'm telling you, you'd have made $1 billion.
Damn.
It is great fucking dropping a deuce with one of those.
Damn.
It's so great.
It's like worth its weight in shit. Or like
no?
No, wait. No.
Oh, it's fucking incredible. It's so like imagine this is not gonna be good radio. But I'm just I'm doing a visual for David. So imagine you have a stool in the front of your shitter that brings your feet up to here. Okay. And the reasoning behind that is that it's like, it unfucks the kinks in your guts so you can just drop a deuce better. And I don't know.
So it's like putting a pillow under a girl's back so that when you're boning her, it just like...
That's inappropriate, David.
Yeah,
it's a family.
I made a pop sound. It didn't even say anything. I just said
gross. No, he made like furious eye contact with me. Yeah. He stuck his tongue out. It was one of those fuckers.
Oh, you call that furious?
It was gross.
Shit. What do you see? What I got for you? Really?
Here.
It was a pop sound.
The fuck is the show?
Well, yeah, that was a great moment of 2018.
One of our better ones.
One of the better ones for sure. We do take things very seriously here on the show, as you could tell.
Yes.
We're all about trying to promote people just getting serious about life and following their passions, right?
As is evidenced by that, and we've got more to come in that regard. But we actually do. We do that.
We do that. Do said do. We've got another hustler over here that's going to teach you the ways of being a hustler. My boy Bobby is fucking amazing. Has 10 businesses or some shit like that.
He is a very, very impressive cat.
Yeah,
man.
Definitely. So Bobby Navarro is going to jump in right here and just kind of give you the lowdown on how he started from nothing and made it into something.
How he gets that. You need that figure it out mentality.
Exactly. Figure it out. You kind of just actually had passion for exposing restaurants that you enjoyed and kind of just putting it out there. And I think that that's awesome that you stuck with it, because I can imagine that maybe, I don't know, I'm guessing here that there may have been people that have kind of tried to tell you what was up or what to do or how to go about it. You're just like, shut the fuck up. Let me do my thing. Like, I'm gonna do it my own way.
Yeah, I think where I benefited too from that was like, I wasn't really close to anybody that had that as their directive. My family is not in any part of that industry, and even people in the industry are more like restaurant focused and not marketing focused. So I had the freedom to kind of explore that without anybody saying anything. They just like, oh, well, that's a cool hobby. Like, continue to do that, until 2012, when it was like then my full-time job, and I like quit all my restaurant jobs to like just do this. Then my like extended family got a little more concerned of like, well, what are you going to do with your life? Like, how is this making you money? Like, are you sure that this is going to be a thing? And even then I wasn't sure that it was, but I at least wanted to it was the perfect time to take a chance. Like, my life was basically resetting. I had lost my job and like, like a lot of family support and all that kind of stuff. So my apartment and lots of money. So I just like, it was a good time to just be like, okay, cool. Well then fuck it. Like, nothing else to lose.
Nothing else to lose.
I'm going to go and dive in and figure this out.
I'm getting chills right now. Like, because I have like, in a somewhat of a similar position, like, all right, I feel like I'm about to right there.
Yeah.
I'm relating to that. Like, it's that pivotal point where you've already kind of, what you want to do and you have all these dreams, and the only thing that's setting you back necessarily from doing that is the fact that you have to take that leap. And as I've said before on the show, that sometimes the universe will make things just so incredibly awkward that a change is just forced to happen.
Yeah.
You just fucking got to do it and go with it. Yeah. And I think I can feel it. Like, I just sense that that's coming around the corner for me too. Yeah. But that's part of the chapter. That's like the thing that you have to go through to understand and learn. To gain that wisdom. Because you could be taught this shit in school, but anything that you're taught in school, you cannot expect it to work exactly that way for everybody.
Absolutely not.
And comfortable people rarely like make big stories. Yeah. And that's the thing is you're usually doing this kind of out of sort of like a desperation, sort of like, or it's like such a passion where you back yourself into that corner, and you just gotta make that leap and just chase that crazy dream.
Yeah. Well, you're forced to make it work. You gotta figure out, okay, well, that like, even if like, because that's how I figured out more about the licensing and permitting stuff, was because like, okay, well, if we can't get a charity to support us because the liability is too high for us to throw events, then I'm going to create my own charity. So then I have control over who says what to what, because I own both of those entities. So then we started that, and I wrote a 96-page document, 10 font legal verbiage, like submitted it to the IRS like 13 times and got denied and sent it back.
You did all that by yourself?
And I did all that by myself, sitting in a room just like researching.
You want to go take the bar exam too?
How do you, what's your, okay, so you strike me as the type of guy who just like does not wait to find somebody else who knows how to do it, or doesn't say, oh, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
like, you do not strike me as that type of person.
You're actually proactive.
Yeah, so, I hate people in my company that do that too, like the employees I have, and they're like, I don't know how to do it. And I was like, yo, bro, figure it out. Like, I've taught you here, and I've taught you well enough for you to like figure out the pieces. Like, yo, Google that shit.
You're a true entrepreneur. I mean, and it's true. Like, I think that when you figure out, once you do a little bit of it, it's just like anything else. Like I said before, I can't draw for shit. And then once you like start to do it, and you're like, get that confidence in there. It's like once you Google something, you're like, wait, I learned it. I learned something. I figured it out. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, I could do that. I had those tools. They're right there. Like, I could really look up anything. What was just holding me back before, or still, in most cases, just the fact that,
it's your own mentality,
laziness and fear.
It's everybody thinking you have to go to school for something. Like, that's the only way to learn. I mean,
I didn't get in any of that like kind of parallel understanding until like maybe in the last year. Like, I didn't even ever call myself a CEO until somebody handed me a business card, and it was a blogger, and it said CEO on it, and it was like, bro, you have like 150 followers and like 0 employees and no income, and you're calling yourself a CEO, and I didn't even call myself a CEO.
That's like, that fake it till you make it shit, though, right? Though, I mean, it varies. That varies for different people.
Yeah,
because in a sense, it could have been the same thing for you, but you weren't faking it. You were just kind of like.
I would say 80% of the times I've seen somebody with CEO, like I've rolled my eyes, because it's like, okay, you're CEO of that like clothing brand that you started 3 years ago but didn't really do anything with.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So I mean, I just you gain that over time based on like what your understanding is of whatever you're doing.
It's funny because back onto that thing, remember Jonathan who was on here? Jonathan Felix, like how he started his own company. He was always so like he was just like obsessed with Entourage and like Ari Gold, and he just like like loved that like flashy like strike a deal, let's go ahead, no, we're gonna negotiate this shit out. And he was also always like super focused on trying to give everybody in his circle a specific title. And so like I was just the really picky, opinionated guy when it came to like the music and art, like, and who would just say what I thought. And he was just like, yeah, you're my creative consultant. And I was just like, what? Like I would just laugh, like, creative consultant, until it was funny. Like I started seeing like people, like a couple other friends had handed me a business card, said creative consultant. And I think that in a large way, though, what ended up becoming of me, not only because my actual job title is art consultant, like what I'm doing outside of that, like I do consult a lot of people on, whatever they're like, creative things.
You rose to the occasion.
Yeah, I rose to the occasion.
For the job you wanted. Yeah.
I came out as the creative consultant, even though I used to be like, oh, yeah, creative consultant, like, what the fuck is that, But anyways, yeah, I just thought that was funny.
That's how the president got there.
That is how the president got there.
Oh man, dress for the job you want,
right? Wear a red tie and an ugly suit, and a shitty toupee,
fucking tie,
yeah,
and an angry schnauzer on your head, and who knows, kids?
You'll go places,
and just a cool loan of $400 million from your father. Yeah. And you can go anywhere in life. You really can.
Yeah. You know where else you can go? To the store and have a very interesting story about how you pick up a bottle of whiskey, aged whiskey. That's what you're going to get right here with this gem of a story that we got from our buddy.
That
Chris
transition
Rushman.
Was like a 12-year-old bourbon that was so smooth.
Oh, so smooth. So let's go. Let's just jump right into this story. I don't even want to ruin anything because it's so just fucking awesome.
Hit me with the pisky.
And
all the best bourbon comes from rabbit holes.
Yeah, is that true?
No, it's not true.
If there's a barrel in the rabbit hole, maybe.
Ooh, there we go. Maybe Bugs Bunny was the original bourbon distiller.
In Kentucky,
distilled from real rabbits.
In Kentucky rabbit holes only.
This got dark real quick. No, but I initially went because I went to this. I hung out with some people, and the bartender there, super like whiskey bar type place. And like he was all about it, and they were all like talking to like people, and I was like not really enjoying the conversation.
Yeah.
So I went over and I talked to him for a second, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool. You like bourbon?" And he was like, "Well, what are some of the ones that you've like tried recently?" And we talked, and then we came up. Oh, he came up to me and he gave me one of his favorites, and I was like, "This smells like pee." And I don't enjoy it, and I felt kind of bad saying that, but I'm not the type of dude that sugarcoats stuff and says that I like everything just because I feel like it's gonna not hurt people's feelings. Like,
yeah,
if I don't like something, I'll say it, and some people don't like that I do that because they're like, oh, well, you can't just be like,
I mean, you're probably not the first guy who tried that whiskey, and nobody else had the balls to tell him that his whiskey smelled
that's
like pee.
very,
or
that's
they probably
very
just took his word for it and were like, yeah,
well,
this is really good.
It comes in a nice bottle, and it's an expensive whiskey.
It could have been pee.
And so some people are too afraid to go like, oh, I don't like this expensive thing because they think the money equals good.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just reusing the same bottle.
That would be.
What if it was really pee?
I did that at my house. I did events. Well, I do a lot of events, but they had like an empty bottle of Blue Label just like laying out somewhere. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, cool. I'll just, I think I asked like one of the waiters, like, are you guys just gonna throw this out? And they're like, yeah, we always do this, blah blah blah. So I took the Blue Label home. It had the cork in it and everything. Washed it out. Put it up on the shelf. People like made some comments. It was empty at this time. Mm-hmm. People made some, oh, is that yours? And I was telling them like, oh, no, it's not. So then one of my roommates got me a bottle for, I think it was Christmas.
Which is on your birthday, sure.
Yeah, Christmas or birthday, whatever. But he got me a bottle of it, and it's great. It's easy to drink, which is cool. It's also very expensive, as we all know.
Yes.
But so I still had this empty bottle of Blue Label. So people would come over before the empty one, or after I'd gotten the new one, the full one, and they would be like, "Oh, I love whiskey. Oh, you have Blue Label? Can I have some?" And it's one of those things. It's like Blue Label's expensive enough that it's like
your eyes scream now.
I kind of just like I feel like special occasions only. and then definitely not something that you give someone to mix with Coke. You know what I'm saying? So
what the fuck?
they didn't do that on it, but it was like those
like, can I get some ice and some Coke?
The type of people that are going to put Coke in Scotch. It just
get at it.
Don't ask for it.
Yeah, that's what Red Label's for.
That's what Red Label's for. Exactly. So they were doing that, and I was like, oh man, like I don't know what it is. So then I took the cheapest whiskey that I had, which is Kessler, and it's great for Coke. It's great for if you're trying to, just like have some guys over to play pool and you want to make some whiskey Cokes. Cool, Kessler. It's like a $6 bottle, and it's like
I was gonna say, is this like Barton's quality or something?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
It's like it's $6 for a 750. And
that's quality.
and you don't feel bad about it, and it's like it's halfway decent. It's like a blended, like an American blended.
You're speaking
thing.
this guy's language over here, Mr. Hurricane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
all about a deal.
So I took this thing and I put about half of it in that empty bottle of Blue Label.
There you go.
And then I put it up on the shelf. So sure enough, people come over. Oh, can I try them? Sure. Give it to them in a little thing, the fancy glass, the Glencairn.
Right.
And they go, oh, it's so smooth. It's great. And I'm like, oh.
Now, mind you, after probably 4 or 5 of whatever shots they had, it might have tasted like it was the greatest thing in the world, regardless of what they knew
but
it
this
was.
is a human thing,
right?
They've done so many studies on like wine, where they give people,
I love it. I love that shit.
Next to the $300 bottle, and they pour them, but they switch the labels. People go, oh yeah, and they just go off on this big thing about the perceived value of it, when really it's the $2 chuck.
And the thing is, like, authenticity. I'm big on
Hurricane's
authenticity.
Not that bad. Sponsor us.
To kind of go.
We really love just making a meal out of one tiny little detail.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of our favorite thing.
So you got whiskey that tastes like piss, and then over here on this next one,
you
got somebody cleaning up a country that's made of shit.
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry, I spoke too soon. I didn't have much faith in you, but you pulled it together out of there, man.
Oh man, you have fucking no faith, Phil. You suck.
Man. Okay. My resolution is to be more confident in you.
Yeah.
And and we should all resolve to be a lot more like our next guy. This is maybe one of my favorite episodes that we've ever done. This was my friend Stephen Martin, who has a very harrowing and heart-wrenching story about his life and his journey over the past few years. His battle with well, you know what? Maybe I'll just leave it for people to kind of find out how he found activism and how he has found his purpose in life.
Yeah.
And it's truly moving and one of the best things I think we've done.
Yeah, this is one of those ones that you should listen to see that we do, definitely have that side to us as well. We're trying to spread this positive message out there. So take a listen, see what you get.
So, okay, and it starts in April of 2016. I went to go get a routine STI checkup.
Mm-hmm.
When you're gay, the CDC recommends that gay men at that age level routinely get STI checks every 3 months. So, and I'm not worried anything at all. I'm a healthy person, and then I get I leave there and they're like, no news is good news. If you should hear back from us, it'll be in 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm going about my business. I'm in community college. I was at Santa Monica College at the time. I was in the quad. All of a sudden, my phone blows up, and it's a very frantic nurse. And I'm like, oh shit, I got something. And then I ask about like the ones that you wouldn't really have to worry about. And then I started thinking, oh no, maybe it's something more serious. So I'm thinking, because I'm gay, it's like, oh God, do I have HIV or whatever? God,
that's going to be such a...
And so I'm thinking, this is the moment they're going to tell me. I'm going to hear it on the phone. I'm at school. Like, this sucks. Then I like get it out of her. She's like, I want you to come here. And I'm like, no, tell me right now what's going on. And she goes, well, your white blood cells are abnormal. And I'm like, that's weird. Okay. So what does that mean? Like, put that in perspective for me. And she goes, well, a normal person's white blood cell response at normal level would be scoring between 4 and 8,000. And I'm like, okay, so what's mine? And she goes, well, 10,000 would be somebody who like is very, very sick, maybe has the flu. And I'm like, okay, so what's mine? And she goes, 115,000. And, you know, from going to school and knowing what too many white blood cells means, I like instantly knew. I'm like, they're telling me I have cancer. And I asked her, and then she's like, I cannot confirm that, but you need to get to a hospital. And I get to the hospital, and they do probably, what was it, a day or two later?
No, we went that night.
We went that night.
No, you went to the doctor, remember? And he said you need to go to the hospital, and
That's
we were going
right.
to delay it a day.
I was going to delay it a day. And then he comes back and he goes, your white blood cell count is at 165,000 now. You need to go to the doctor. You're at a larger risk for having a stroke. And I'm like, oh shit. This is all happening in the process of 24 hours.
Yeah. It's so fast.
And so as that's going on, as my earth is shifting, I'm also watching the 2016 election from this place of absolute confidence that Hillary was going to win. Mm-hmm. And I was not nervous about losing my health care. I thought, oh my God, I can't wait till this is over. This is so nerve wracking. And then election night, and November 10th, 2016. I go to Santa Monica Boulevard, all the gay bars in WeHo. I'm sitting at the Five Guys, and I watch Florida, Pennsylvania. Yeah. All of them start coming in, and these are like the key swing states, and I lost it. And right at that moment, I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna lose my access to my medication. They are going to legislate my insurance away, and I cannot afford anything close to this. And it was the most surreal feeling. I started vomiting. I was crying. People were trying to console me on the sidewalk.
Like, with everything that had already happened to you in that short amount of time, too, you're probably thinking, like, fuck, this is the end. There's like, nothing, like, this was, like, your fate. Like, this just all meant to come to this shitty close, and I can only imagine how terrifying, and, you know, like, I'm over here, sitting up, like...
I remember just the dread that I felt, kind of knowing in the abstract that was there, without really fully being able to understand like the consequences, just knowing that things were going to be bad.
The gravity of it hit like a freight train
immediately.
It was the absolute worst feeling. And then I felt so reassured the next morning when Hillary got up and her last words were to resist. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I am going to resist this. I am not going to go down without a fight. And if they think they're going to take my insurance away, they're going to have to pry me out of the halls of Congress. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make this happen, but I'm going to make it happen. And I was having trouble sleeping for about a year. And I used to spend all night smoking blunts on my balcony and just watching the sunrise over LA, downtown LA, over the skyscrapers. That's the view from our apartment. Mm-hmm. And I remember being up at 5 a.m. watching the sunrise, and I just like thought, oh, this is so beautiful. And I turned on the news, and they're like, Kamala Harris is having a rally in 2 hours. I'm like, I'm going to that. And here, I'll pull up the pictures. I got a green poster. I called my sisters because my sisters were very worried about me. And I was like, let's go to this protest. Let's be people who we've never been before, and let's resist this. And come with me. I'm going to have a poster. And the poster read, I was 26 when I was diagnosed with cancer, leukemia. And the ACA saved my life. And I wrote that because I took a PR class, and one of the fundamental rules of that public relations class I walked away with is don't do anything unless you're going to be newsworthy. And so I really wanted people to know, like, this fight for healthcare, I will die if we lose. This is a very real thing. My white cells will just start reproducing whether or not I have insurance. And I can't stop that mutation. And the government forces this specialty type of medication. It's a very expensive medication. It's not like other medications. There's no other drugs for it. And I wanted people to bear witness to that. I wanted people to bear witness to that. So this is, I caught the eye of one of the organizers, and they asked me to first come up the stairs, and they pulled me behind the ropes and put me in front of the crowd. And then I believe it was a city council member of Los Angeles who goes, "There's a very special someone here. Please, everybody look over here up at the top of the stairs. Can you read his sign?" And he read my sign out loud. The whole crowd starts applauding me for my efforts. And I'm not doing this for attention. Yeah. I'm doing this for people to bear witness to my testimony. And I just, start crying in front of everybody. And then it caught the eye of Senator Harris's aide, and Senator Harris asked for a picture of me from the event, and we end up meeting. I get to talk to her, and she asked me for, first thing, how are you doing? That's what you ask people when you first meet. And how's your health? What's going on? Tell me your fears. And I got to really have a very private moment to confide with her, and we both walked away from that moment basically promising each other that we were going to fight. And when I asked her, "You're going to fight for me, right?" And she goes, "It's the only thing I know how to do." And that kind of just made me feel even more connected to this moment. Is like, how serendipitous that the first time I go to a protest.
Yeah. I was going to say, this whole scene kind of...
It felt almost fate. Like predestined in a way, how casual it all kind of fell together. And then the organizer from that event, her name is Nancy, and she reached out to me. We reached out to each other on Facebook, and she's like, "Our photographer's got all these pictures of you. You were so great, blah, blah, blah." And I just casually asked her, I'm like, if you ever need someone to speak or whatever, please feel I want to get involved. I want to be a patient activist. I want people to have to look me in the eyes and know what repeal of Obamacare looks like. It would be to deny me my medication. That's what it would look like. And so it was full steam ahead in DC for Obamacare repeal, first thing up on the order. Yeah. And I had at the time joined an LGBT organization's volunteer resistance squad, and we ended up leading about 500 people into phone banking, postcard writing, rapid response. I ended up just going there every single day and arriving with the staff at in the morning and leaving with them at night, all at the same time, just asking if there's anything that would make your job easier for you to make a larger impact that I could do for you, like remedial work. Just have me do that. And I was doing that, and it slowly brought me into conversations, and then that kind of led to being on one of their leadership volunteers, and that was pretty cool. And it felt less like having to force people to bear witness, and more like finding a community who all had the same thing at stake. And that starts to build me up a little bit more, and people start looking at me for answers. And all of a sudden, the organizer from the first protest calls me and says, there's a speaking opportunity. There'll be news cameras. It's about healthcare. Would you like to share a story? It's a speaking spot for 2 minutes. And I was like, I'll show up. And so I spoke, I believe, after Senator Ed Hernandez, who is a fabulous senator who is in California's Senate. He chairs the health committee in the Senate. And he was fabulous. And I got to speak and be in front of people. And it felt so... I felt like I was really standing up for the first time, like since being sick, and I spoke passionately, and that led to more news organizations calling me and coming to my house, and shooting pictures of all my pills and asking me about who I am, what I do in the community, getting to know me, making me human to a lot of people. And then something like clicked. I'm like, gosh, this resistance stuff, you can do a lot of fun stuff, and all you have to do is show up.
All you gotta do is show up.
And he was not wrong.
Yeah,
man. It's really it's incredible how just even what seems like just a little bit of participation and how far that can take you, like, in this democracy. And what we went on from there. From the time we recorded that was to a historic, midterm win. We flipped this district that's been deep red Republican for 30 years, and we are putting a check into place to help keep the ACA and Stephen alive. And so this activist stuff is important. It works, and I mean, hopefully
you just got to show up.
Exactly, man.
You know who else shows up to work every single day, though?
Who?
Serious. Like, they're determined to make a change in this world. And they're very good at what they do. And I had to give it off to this guy. It's the next guy that we have on, or at least the story that I'm telling about this next one. Nick Jason. He goes for it every day. God. Nick Jason is persistent. and he's just got all the right selling techniques that is going to take him right up to, the top of the line.
As a little palate cleanser. Why don't we grace everyone to finish off the end of part 1 with the ballad of Nick Jason?
Anyways, but yeah, so
talking to you, Billy.
No, we're talking to Nick Jason.
Oh yeah, Nick Jason.
What's up, Nick?
Nick Jason.
Nick Jason probably is not going to listen to this till tomorrow.
Get his fake name right, bro. He's obviously a huge fan.
Jason, because
Jason.
Yeah, he's probably not going to get this right because he's in Bangladesh, so he's like sleeping right now.
Just let him continue before you ask questions. This is really like not going where you're thinking it's gonna go.
Yeah, he's in Bangladesh.
Okay.
Are you really gonna stop there? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, she's supposed to ask me some questions about it.
I don't want to.
I didn't listen, and then you
Two of
stared
us
at me
are
like,
ever
what
allowed to
did
know
you...
what's going on.
So Nick Jason hits us up today. He hits us up on Messenger, and I'm actually just going to pull it out just to see. Right? Okay,
he is... He a random dude messages us on Messenger, and then I looked at his profile, and it is just like a JPEG'd out like Jersey Shore extra or something like that.
So bad.
His name is Nick Jason, but he's from Bangladesh, and all of his friends, like, I do not know what letters or words or what language that the names were on, like, the rest of the profile. And he's like, hey buddy, I can get you, lots of good plays. I'm podcast promoter. I'm like, I'm going to go ahead with no. And then he can take it from here.
Yeah,
because
so
he was just going to do this without giving you any of the goddamn context.
right. That's kind of how I do things over here. So he goes, for only $450 per month and $120 per week. Oh, wait, let's go back to what he first said. So is anyone available to chat? And then
there's an auto response, as he said, that said, "Foolish mortal, ask your question and have it answered for the meager price of your soul. Couldn't resist putting something here. Sup, Nick? We'll get back to you soon." Totally seems like he wrote this. It does not seem like an automated response.
No, that's the default one from Facebook.
Yeah. So this.
That's just like what it always does when you click autoresponder.
No, I can never tell with this guy.
Finally gets one. I'm like, I say it straight.
There's hope for me yet. Anyway.
Obviously, I'm joking. Oh, I'm so proud.
He takes advantage of my ignorance towards anything technological.
No, he trusts me, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm very
I
trusting.
trusted you.
So back to what you're saying. So he does that, and what we don't know is whether it's a bot or not. It could be like a fucking bot or this really weird dude that's just trying to be fucking like Nick Jason. And he says, "Sir, I'm an expert podcast promoter. Do you need any help to promote your podcast for SoundCloud? Sir, are you interested?" Like, all in one thing. Like, what? Like, bro, you're getting kind of pushy here. He said, well, it's kind of like really pushy, polite. Like, "Sir, please choose now. Like, come on. I just asked you. Do you want it or not?" He's like, "Thanks, but not at this time." All nice and shit, right? And so I'm like watching, like, God, I want to kind of troll this guy so bad. So I told him, I go, if he responds, I'm going to troll him. He says, "Sir, you will get from me 1, real and organic listeners and lots of plays and listens. 2, lots of real and organic downloads. 3, huge amount of subscribers. 4, top position what you want. Top position whatever you want. 5, lots of real and organic reviews." Lots of real and organic shit this guy's got. He doesn't offer me any organic weed, anything like that. He's just like, "You can get this stuff." I say, "Sir," he says.
How many times did he use real and organic?
At least 3 separate times in that one statement.
You know what makes me not feel like something is real or organic?
It's redundant.
Saying it 3 fucking times.
Yeah, exactly. And then he says right after that, "Sir, can I make your podcast the best one?" And then the next one.
What? I didn't finish reading.
Oh yeah, he said, "Sir, can I make?" No. Sorry. He did not ask. I messed that up. He did not ask. He said, "Sir, I can make your podcast the best one."
No, fuck that. He said, "May I make your podcast the best one?"
And then he said,
"That's how I'm telling the
for
story."
Only $450.
I fucking steal this from you.
Only $450 per month and $120 per week. Then he puts a thumbs up, and then he's like, "Sir, are you interested?" Even after that, and I say, "I'll give you 30 schmeckles and 1 plumbus to start. Get us in the top 10 by tomorrow, and I'll agree to pay you 250,000 eye holes. But you will only receive once we reach the number 1 spot." And he goes, "Sir, what is schmeckles?"
So mind you, I'm not getting anything that he's sending, but like in my notification bar, I'm just getting like new message. And I can only see what he's sending to us. And I just look and I see, "Sir, can you please tell me what you mean by schmeckles?" I'm like,
I said, "It's our currency.
What is happening?
Our currency on Tralfamador." And he goes, "And what did you mean by 250K eye holes?" And I said, "Eye holes are a delicacy here on Tralfamador, worth millions. Okay, sir. Please tell me the sentence again in US dollar." And I said, "Oops, sorry, we just got picked up by a major promoter from Gondor. We don't need your services at this time. Thank you. Please give me a single chance, sir. Sorry, Nick Jason, we already got signed on with your competitor, Ralph George. Sir, but your podcast is not even in the category top 200. Not today, but tomorrow we are guaranteed number 1 for only $10 a month. Oh, it's great, sir. Right? We are stoked. Best of luck to you, Nick Jason. And you too, sir." And that's it. Well, that's a wrap for part 1 of our 2018 wrap-up. And
I like that.
Yeah, tune in to the next week's episode
And
to catch part 2.
Yeah, make sure you're subscribed to us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Let It Bleed Cast on all of the social medias that you can find. And make sure you follow us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Facebook. You're outside the window while we record this, like however you guys experience the podcast. Just make sure that you subscribe to it. Spread it around. Show people this little montage we got going on here.
Or enter the raffle to join in and see who can become a live audience member
Oh,
once a week.
shit.
We're going to start this new thing. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this new raffle to see who can win a spot to be our live audience member.
Oh man, wait,
You'll
are they
even get
are they
caricatured.
replacing one of our one of our other live audience members?
No, well, Frankie's not really all the time. So,
Oh, man.
Bree will at least have somebody else to like smoke weed with while we're just hanging
Oh,
out.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I don't have to replace my girlfriend.
No.
Like, okay.
No.
I can replace the cat.
No.
It's her cat. It's fine.
She'll be like the Andy Richter of the
Okay.
show,
Oh, I
kind of
like
like off to the side, you know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Frankie will replace me, and then I have to go live on the street. I like that.
Basically. All right. Well, yeah. Tune in next week. As always, let it bleed.